Russell Springs City Council regular call meeting September the 8th to order. Chris, give me a roll call. We got a quorum.
Mr. Holt.
Yes, here.
Mr. Blakey.
Yes, here.
Ms. Daniel.
Here.
Mr. Hudson.
Here.
Mr. Skaggs.
Here.
Mr. Barnes.
Here.
Mary Hill quorum.
The first thing on the agenda is the acceptance of the minutes. Chris has sent them out. I hope each one of you had an opportunity to look over them. Are there any additions or subtractions to the minutes? If not, I need a motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Got a motion by Rick. You need a second.
Second.
Second by Timmy. Roll call, Chris.
Ms. Daniel.
Yes.
Mr. Holt.
Yes.
Mr. Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
Mr. Blakey.
Yes.
Mr. Skaggs.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Alrighty, so the next thing on the agenda is the acceptance of the cash disbursements or the financial statement. It's the same. Chris has sent that out. I hope each one of you had time to look at it. Are there any questions about the paying the bills?
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Got a motion by Tommy. Need a second.
Second.
Second by Sherry. Roll call, Chris.
Mr. Holt.
Yes.
Ms. Daniel.
Yes.
Mr. Skaggs.
Yes.
Mr. Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
Mr. Blakey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Cancel. The next thing on the agenda is old business. I don't know if, has anybody got any old business that we need to address that we have left out or just ain't talked about? If not, we'll move on to the new business. The first thing on new business is Resolution 2022-08. It's the City Government Month, and Chris has a resolution to read on it.
Kentucky League of Cities sent us down and asked if, as a body, we would pass this resolution. Resolution 2022-08, resolution of the City of Russell Springs, September 8th, 2022. Whereas civic education is important to ensure Kentucky children develop an interest and understanding of local government and their role in the community. Whereas Kentucky academic standards for social studies require instruction on citizenship and local government for entry-level elementary school children. Whereas involving and informing students of local government programs and duties can provide an opportunity for entire families to connect with the vital city services and programs. Whereas there are 416 cities in Kentucky and 56% of the state's population lives in the city. Whereas City Government Month is a civics awareness campaign that educates elementary school students about city services by providing teacher lesson plans, students coloring and activity books, and classroom materials. And whereas City Government Month calls on city officials to get involved in their local schools and in educating and engaging elementary school students in city government. Now therefore it be resolved that the Russell Springs City Council does hereby designate September 2022 as City Government Month. Be it further resolved that city officials and employees are encouraged to collaborate with local elementary schools to educate students about their city government and to engage them in city services. Signed, Eddie Thomas, Mayor. Test, Christopher Ramsey, City Clerk.
Anybody got any questions on it? Discussion? Need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion.
I'll second.
Got a second by Larry.
Roll call. Mr. Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Blakey.
Yes.
Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
Mr. Holt.
Yes.
Mr. Skaggs.
Yes.
Ms. Daniel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Chris. And we've already started doing that. I went out today to the high school to judge the homecoming. They had like Eli, Gosh Ridge, Jamestown, Russell Springs, Salem, different parts of the county. And they asked me and Regina to go out there, but Russell Springs looked the best, but I couldn't pick Russell Springs because I'm the mayor, so it would look like we'd cheated them. So we both ended up picking somebody else, but it was fun and enjoyable. The next thing is the resolution 2022-09. It's the park improvements, and this is a resolution for ARPA funds, I think, Chris.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, Russell Springs City Council Resolution 2022-09. Whereas Russell Springs City Council is the ultimate obligator for the fiscal well-being of the Russell Springs, Kentucky And whereas the United States Congress passed the American Rescue Plan Act, or known as ARPA, signed into law March 11, 2021, which provides individual counties an allotment for funds for a variety of purposes related to the pandemic. And whereas Russell Springs, Kentucky is in need of improvements for the Russell Springs Park and Main Street. And be it therefore resolved that the Russell Springs City Council hereby agrees to consents to allocate funds in the amount of $25,000 from their ARPA funds and additional city funds for the improvements of the Russell Springs Park and Main Street located in Russell Springs, Kentucky. The city reserves the right to adjust this amount if other circumstances make the use of any funding inappropriate for the city. Approved this 8th day of September 2022. Russell Springs City Council, signed by Eddie Thomas Mayor, attested by Christopher Ramsey, City Clerk.
Any questions? I know there are going to be several, and what this is just to let the media and the press know that Russell Springs is going to purchase Christmas lights, and we're going to put Christmas lights over the city park, and it'll be like a drive-through, and different lights, different scenes. The lady has contacted us from Lights on the Farm and asked us if we'd be interested in purchasing them. And we said, I think it was a really good idea. It's whatever y'all think as a council. I think it would give the community something through the holidays. It would be free for them. You know, we wouldn't charge. We just maybe have a donation box, you know, maybe something out front if they want to work with us to help us on them for the future, because we'd like to buy a few each year and add one or two to it. And I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity without having a fall festival this year, because we couldn't get a singer in time, and it was just a lot of stuff going on. And I thought we could take this money and use it. COVID's coming back, so we won't have a big crowd, so we can't blame that. And the families can go through in a car. It'll be oriented, family oriented, and we can get some different things involved in it, I believe, once we decide. What do y'all think?
It's gonna be free admission, right? And, you know, just to take it a step further, maybe I'm wrong on this, but maybe eventually you could have like groups that are always raising money by various ways. Like you said, a donation, they could stand there and donations to the ball teams or to various organizations here in town. Strictly a voluntary donation thing. But I love it. I think it's a great idea.
I
I
think it's
saw
gonna
a
be really
picture of the lights. I saw a picture of the lights today,
Yeah.
and it would really show us off over
It
there.
would, I think. It's as big as Burnside, isn't it, or almost?
No, it's not as big as Burnside, but we could get
But we've
there.
got the layout similar to
Yeah.
Burnside.
Yeah.
I've been there with
Yeah.
my grandchildren.
Yeah,
I think it's a good start.
I think it's a great start.
That's what I'm thinking.
What do you need? I think it's worthwhile.
Do you need a motion on that?
Yeah.
Let everybody discuss it, what you think. Need a motion, Tony?
I think we ought to do it. I make a motion, we purchase it.
I agree. I second, if that's
I like it.
what you need.
Something good for the community.
I
Good
think
for-
it'd be a big drop.
It's
I
not
think it
good
would
just
too.
for our little city, but it's good for surrounding, because people went from here to Columbia, I think,
Well,
so.
she said she had 42,000 people on her Facebook page, and she wanted to put them somewhere close, and she said the first year or two, it's Melanie Wheels and Lloyd Wheels over at 206, and they said the first year they'll come over and have us set them up and everything, and the next year they'd come back and have us do it. And I've talked to Scotty over at the park, and he's all excited about it, so.
And what was the story, Eddie, about her dad, something about her father did this or
He just
something?
got
I remember
old.
you telling
Yeah,
me.
It was out, they had them and they had them, it was kind of in a short area the way they had them, and she said that people would get out and want to take pictures with them and stuff, and they just were scared that somebody would fall on a stake or something. So that brings me to the next question. We've done got a first and second before we do start this. I would like to shut the park down about the 20th, because it's going to be a big ordeal to put all these lights up. I mean, they usually start in August, but I figured if we throw a lot of our utilities guys at it and stuff, if we shut it down and just leave the front gate open up to top, if anybody wants to walk the walking trail, just keep people off the grassy areas and stuff, because that's where we'll be putting the lights. and we don't want somebody to trip, fall over a wire,
Right.
run a stake through them or something. So I think that, and people will be calling and saying, well, why ain't the park open? You know, well, we're doing something for the community to help.
The 20th of November,
October.
October.
That's the last Little League game. They're playing Fall Little League this year over there, and that's the last night of the Little League. So it'll take all month of November to put them up.
Okay.
We don't have to make a motion to
No,
close the
not
park.
for that. I just wanted you to know that before we voted on.
Well, and the
ours.
press can help us out by telling, you know, by keeping people up
And
informed.
We're going to have people kind of watching while it's open and on, so people don't just drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying anybody would do that, but
But they might.
Well, I figured, you know, when Scotty come out, if he locked the gate like at 3:30 in the afternoon, and when he come back in, he opened it up the next morning. At least where the lights are in the back would be locked up.
yeah.
You know, the front there, if somebody would walk, you know, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they could park up there on the hill and walk.
Well, as many as there are, it'd be pretty hard to steal them, wouldn't it?
I ain't even get into that.
You know, something else you could do if you wanted to is also open up the walking trail back there, putting lights on it for a walkthrough. But I know it's cold in the Christmas time, but it'd be kind of neat. Something else we can do in the future.
Yeah,
In the future.
I think this is a start. This is a start to what we can have.
And we need
something
Santa Claus over there.
She said she would like her and her husband to come over some. He played Santa Claus and she played Miss Claus.
Uh-huh. I think that'd
And,
be great.
If you'd heard them tell us about it, I mean, it was she got teary-eyed and stuff because they just can't do it, you know. And she said, I want to sell them to somebody. And if you know Christmas lights, what we've got on Main Street right there is more than we're paying for what we're getting the whole bunch for. So, you know, I think it's a great deal, and I think it's a good investment for the city moving forward.
Cool.
Your roll call, Chris.
Ms. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
Mr. Blakey,
Yes.
Mr. Barnes,
Yeah.
Mr. Holt,
Yes.
Mr. Skaggs.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Council. I think it's a great thing. The next thing on the agenda is Resolution 2022-10. It's a clean water grant, and we need to just let Chris read that to you.
Terry wanted me to read this project description. This project will consist of a new pump station, solenoid station, and telemetry. The pump station and telemetry will be used to fill and turn the water over more frequently in existing Salem tank. And the new solenoid station will replace an existing station in Eli. Says the project is needed so that Russell Springs Water and Sewer can meet the growing demands of the area. The new pump station will assure that citizens in the area have a reliable source of portable drinking water and will not be reliant on a system of water pumps to deliver sufficient water pressure. And then I've got KI sent this resolution down to read. It's Exhibit 4, Resolution 2022-10. Resolution of the City of Russell Springs accepting the grant and approving the grant agreement, authorizing an amendment of the City of Russell Springs annual budget, and authorizing a representative to sign all related documents. Whereas the Kentucky General Assembly has appropriated funds for infrastructure projects in Senate Bill 36 of the 2021 regular session of the Kentucky General Assembly for Clean Water Program. And whereas the City of Russell Springs, the grantee, has previously determined that it is in the public interest to acquire and construct certain facilities and improvements to the grant's utility system and known as the project. And whereas the grantee that desires funding from the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority for the purpose of acquisition and construction of the project, and whereas in order to obtain a grant from the Clean Water Program for the project administered by the authority, the grantee is required to enter into an assistance agreement with the authority. Now therefore be resolved by the governing body of the City of Russell Springs as follows. Section 1, the grantee hereby accepts the grant award and approves the agreement between the grantee and the authority to provide the necessary funds to the grantee for the project. Section 2, that Eddie Thompson is hereby designated to be the grantee's authorized official for this project and is hereby directed and empowered by the grantee to execute the agreement, related documents and agreements, and to otherwise act on behalf of the grantee to effect such grant award. Section 3, that the grantee hereby agrees and commits to include by amendment to its annual budget and audit process the recipients and expenditures of the funds subject to the agreement up to and including the date of the project closeout. Section 4, that this resolution shall take effect at the earliest time provided by law, adopted on September 8th, 2022. City of Russell Springs, signed Eddie Thomas, Mayor.
And what that is it's just a KIA grant to fit some things that was in their structure that we needed to. And with the Clean Act, Water Act money, we're getting a piece of it, so it ain't gonna cost us nothing, so looks good to me. Does anybody got any questions on it? No questions? Need a motion to accept the money.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Timmy, need a second.
I second that.
Got a second by David, need a roll call, please.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
Ms. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Blakey,
Yes.
Mr. Skaggs,
Yes.
Mr. Holt,
Yes.
Mr. Barnes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, the last thing on the agenda is the second reading of the ordinance 2022-05. We had the first reading last month. It's the ad valorem tax 2022. Chris, you want to read it?
Ordinance number 2022-05, an ordinance levying the annual ad valorem tax on real property and motor vehicles and motorboats and other personal property for the city purposes and the corporate city limits of the city of Russell Springs, Kentucky for the year 2022. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky, Section 1, an ad valorem tax is set forth herein below is hereby levied on all lands, improvements of personal property, tangible and intangible, held or owned by any firm or person, firm, company, corporation, or association in his, her, their, or its name as its fiduciary or agent, and subject to taxation under the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, including all property and franchises heretofore and hereinafter assessed by the Russell County Property Valuation Administrator. Section 2, motor vehicles and motorboats, an ad valorem tax of 0.1700 cents on each $100 of assessed valuation of motor vehicles and motorboats subject to taxation under the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky is hereby levied for city's purposes. Section 3, real property and ad valorem tax rate of 0.1610 cents on each $100 of assessed valuation of real property subject to taxation under the law Commonwealth of Kentucky is hereby levied for city purposes. Section 4, other personal property and ad valorem tax rate of 0.1610 cents on each $100 of assessed valuation of personal property subject to taxation under the laws of Commonwealth of Kentucky is hereby levied for city purposes. Section 5, all such taxes above shall be paid to the city clerk / treasurer and shall be due and collectible by December 31, 2022. All taxes received by November 30th will receive a 2% discount, and all taxpayers whose taxes are not paid on or before December 31st shall be deemed delinquent and shall pay in addition to the amounts of taxes due a penalty of 12%, and said penalty shall be collected in the same manners as the taxes due. Further, all delinquent taxes will be published in the local paper as delinquent taxes. Section 6, the city shall not mail out a property tax bill that has an amount due of $5 or less. Section 7, the city clerk / treasurer is hereby authorized to collect said taxes and penalties. Section 8, the ad valorem tax is levied on for the purpose of paying officers and employees of the city of Russell Springs expenses of the fire department, police department, street maintenance and improvements, construction, as well as current expenses of the city, and shall be paid into the general fund of the city. Section 9, the Russell County assessment of property situated within the city of Russell Springs is hereby adopted as a city assessment for the city ad valorem taxes for the year of 2022. Any unpaid taxes herein provided for shall remain a lien against the property in favor of the city of Russell Springs until paid. The ordinance will become effect upon adoption and publication according to law. Signed, Mayor Eddie Thomas. Attest, Christopher Ramsey, City Clerk. We had the first reading last month, second reading today, and it will be published in next week's paper.
That is just to let the press know and the radio know that taxes is going down. They're not going up, they're not staying the same. I'm sure they are going down. So, thank you. community will like that too, so. Need a motion.
I'll
make
make
a
a motion
motion.
to accept.
I think we'll
Larry
all
with a
second that.
motion.
I'll second it then.
Sherry with a second.
Well, sure gonna make the motion, Jerry, sorry.
Oh, I won't fight you over
I've
it.
never heard taxes going down.
Me either. I mean, that's why I
I
want
love
to jump in
these.
there.
That's awesome.
I love it, man, I love it.
Yeah.
Mr. Holt,
Yes.
Mr. Blakey,
Yes.
Mr. Skaggs,
Yes, by all means.
Ms. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Barnes,
Yes.
Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, council. Larry, you better enjoy that. I don't believe it'll go down nowhere else.
I rest my case. That's the truth.
Has anybody got anything before we do the mayor's report? I got a short mayor's report. Has any council got anything? No? Nobody?
I don't know if anybody saw that picture in the newspaper today about the building they're gonna build down, whatever they call that.
French Valley.
Yeah,
The,
had a big picture in the newspaper.
Seed Academy.
Seed Academy, yeah. And it's gonna be a
Yeah,
big
looks like a
deal.
nice place.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big deal. That'll bring more people here.
What kind of place is it?
It's called the Seed Academy. It's an agriculture
Oh,
academy
yeah.
school. Get a paper, get the paper and look at the piece.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
Which one do
Why did you write that?
Not if it's good, no.
No,
good.
Wade.
come on.
It's hard to be humble, isn't it, Wade?
I want to thank the press for coming. John, thank you for what you do. And Wade, for y'all coming. And Zach and Ada, appreciate you. You don't know how much for helping us get stuff out. But the only couple things I got, the pool has closed for the year. We shut it down on Tuesday morning. I want to thank Holly Miller for this year and the past 2 or 3 years. She's done a great job with her health and everything. She's going to step down. So if you see Holly out, thank her and tell her we sure did appreciate her. The next thing, we'll be having trunk or treat on Main Street on October the 31st, 5 to 7.
What, not, is that a Sunday night this
That's a
year?
Monday night.
Monday night, okay.
Monday night, October the 31st, and if it's bad weather, we'll just do like we did last year and make adjustments on the fly that day. Then the next thing is this year's Christmas parade. We've done had people calling us wanting to know what the theme is, where they can do floats, and the theme of it is a blue Christmas. I guess it's after Elvis since he brought a movie out this year. But a blue Christmas will be the theme of it. And in the coming days and weeks, we'll be posting more information on social media about it. But the big thing that night is after we have the Christmas parade, we'll go over to the park and light the Christmas lights.
Oh, we'd have a big tree over there too?
If you can get out and cut us one, Bob Bunyan.
Coming from, well now, I don't think I could cut the tree, but, I mean, we probably need a Christmas tree.
If they one over
Where
there,
are you gonna put it up?
if they one over there, you can decorate.
Yeah, maybe there is, Timmy. And we've got Ebenezer Scrooge sitting there, maybe he could help with that.
I got a chainsaw you for.
You think?
You go.
No, that ain't happening.
Rick, it's time to say,
But
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do it.
that's all I've got. Larry, you make a motion to adjourn?
No, listen, Rick is
I'll make
taking
a
my
motion to
place.
adjourn.
Ricky made a
Second.
motion. Second. Tommy, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Somebody's got to feel